You can try 3-4 times.
I'll do it once, don't worry.
To this camera?
To that camera?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I said that, now I'll get it wrong. I'll be like, I'm Mimi. Hi, I'm Mimi Nicklin. I'm a best-selling author and an empathy advocate, and my work is to travel the world, creating more understanding and more connection in businesses and in society worldwide. I followed in my father's footsteps. He was an ad man running advertising agencies. And from as young as I can remember, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to follow in his footsteps. And that's what I did. As soon as I became a teenager, I planned how to get into the right university and to get the right graduate scheme to move into the creative industries. And in many ways, that led me here to the work I do today. I still write and create. He was a natural born storyteller. And I think probably so am I. I took a role in Dubai, and the honest truth was I was entirely overwhelmed by that role. I had come from very corporate, structured, large business, and I ended up running this organization in Dubai, which was small and kind of all over the place. So I went to meet a business coach, my first and only time, and I asked her, can you help me understand what is going on in this city? How do I navigate this time and this sort of season of my life? And she was asking me about my leadership style. And at the time I was talking about intuition. And she stopped me and she asked me a question that fundamentally changed my life, because she said to me, Mimi, is it intuition or is it empathy? And fundamentally that then became the moment that changed my life. What is empathy? Everyone's favorite question. So empathy is fundamentally perspective taking. That's all it is. It's the ability to understand the perspective of another. Why do they think the way they think, or why are they behaving the way they're behaving, or on occasion, why do they feel the way that they feel? So empathy is a skill set. It's built into your brain. We are all born with it. You don't have more than me, and I don't have more than the other person. It's built in the prefrontal cortex, and it's a pro-evolutionary skill set. So what that means is it exists to protect the human race. We need it to survive, not to thrive. And it is a skill set. So sympathy, compassion, these are totally different things. I very often say to my business audiences, I'm not talking about being nice. This is a hard-working skill set. Hard to find, hard to master, with really hard business results. For example, 23% higher profit. So many hard business results on the back of this fundamental human skill, which is to understand others. Profit and empathy are not mutually exclusive. They are deeply connected. I touched earlier on this 23% figure. We know that organizations that have empathetic cultures are 23% more profitable. They are 17% more effective. They are 68% more engaged in terms of their staff. And of course, that means you are saving on all kinds of money and resources because your people aren't leaving. And worldwide today, we have an attrition crisis, right? So people resigning, you hear about silent quitters or great resignation. Organizations that have the skill set, the ability to understand, so I know how to motivate you, because the reality is it's never just about money, not anymore. I felt like I was called to Sri Lanka. When I landed here in 2021, I had never been here. So when I moved here with my daughter, my pets, my furniture, my whole life, I left the Middle East and I moved here. I had never been here. I had this, deep sense that I should move to Sri Lanka. So I did. Whilst my, let's say, formative years living in Colombo were not easy years because we had COVID and there was economic and political and social unrest for the first few years when I was here. It wasn't a soft landing, let's say that. It will always be part of me and I will never leave. I now live in Malaysia and travel back to Sri Lanka for very kind of infrastructure-driven reasons, particularly an international airport, given my travel. But Sri Lanka's in my soul. And I have a vision which will become a reality to build up an all-female team here in Colombo that can lead all of our training programs, and we're also moving into technology and AI from Colombo with talent here in Colombo, and in my tiny little way to put Sri Lanka on the map in some of those conversations where it isn't yet today. I had a client in India, and it was a technology company, a software business in Mumbai, and predominantly young male workforce of software developers. And the client, the CEO, came to me and said, listen, we have so many resignations, I can't keep up with them. And Mimi, I keep paying them more, but they're still leaving. And the first thing I asked him was, well, Sanjay, have you asked them why they're leaving? And he was like, no. I was like, so maybe let's start there, right? And a little while later, I called him back, maybe 6 weeks, and to say, how's it going, and how did the research go, and where are you today? And he said, Mimi, it's amazing. People have stopped resigning. And I said, well, what did you do? And he said, well, Mimi, we changed the coffee machine. And I was like, okay, you're gonna need to tell me a little bit more about that. So what happened when he spoke to these young men was that they uncovered this insight, this empathy, that these young guys in Mumbai today, apparently, not cool to drink chai. That's not cool. Grandma drinks chai, I don't want to drink chai, I want to drink coffee, ideally in some type of American Starbucks type cup, right? So, this insight came out, and in the end, the CEO got them an espresso machine and got really nice cups made with their logo actually, but that they could carry around. And it was just that tiny act that helped his staff know that he understands us, he gets us. You cannot lead if you don't first listen. How can you lead anybody if you don't know what they want? And in this case, all they wanted was good coffee. You know what? No one's ever asked me that. That's a good question. I think it does come from both. Yes, there is an impact on the world, and there has never been a time when our world needed more understanding than now. 52% of our planet is lonely, and loneliness is killing us. You are statistically likely to die 8 years earlier if you're lonely. You cannot survive, you cannot heal from illnesses and diseases as well as people who are not lonely. As humans, we need to be connected, to be together. And according to the Surgeon General in the USA, to be chronically lonely is now as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So there is a let me help impact the world driver to this passion. But in the business world, when you talk about strategic leadership, yes, I'm passionate because it works. And actually, the more I do the work, and I'm really lucky I get to work with governments and organizations and all kinds of amazing people, the more I see that impact everywhere, hence empathy everywhere, right? Whether it's small business, whether it's government policy, whether it's NGOs, whether it's corporate kind of FMCG businesses, there are no environments that don't grow, that don't do better when empathy is put into the core. Whether that's culturally, which is the ideal, or it may be, for example, into an innovation process to improve the impact of that innovation, the effectiveness of the innovation, the direction of the innovation. Because in the end, this is a skill set that people need to grow, whether that's personally in our relationships or it's in our businesses. So where does my passion come from? I think it comes from wanting to make a difference in the world, to help people. That's what drives me, that act to help. But it's very quickly followed by the fact that I know it will create impact in the business world, and I get that feedback every day. So the data is growing, not just my data, but the global data. So I won't stop anytime soon.
Yep.
It's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Thank you very much.